All right, let's go out to San Fran, California, and talk to Marjorie. What's up, Marjorie?
Hey, Dr. John.
What's up?
Oh, nothing much. Just putting my business out there for millions of viewers to hear.
Hey, man, listen. Nobody listens to this show, Marjorie. You know that is true. Nobody listens to this show.
Hey, I do.
There's going to be dozens of people. Dozens. So what up? How can I help?
So, thank you for taking my call.
Of course.
My question is, how do I emotionally be there for my daughter while I'm going through grief? And the backstory is my husband passed away back in April. And so...
what was his name?
His name was Adam.
Adam?
Yeah.
He was all right?
He was all right. We had a rocky marriage. He was an addict, and so we were separated for the 4 years that we were married, and so it was kind of, I guess, I was grieving, through the whole ordeal, and so.
How did he pass away?
That I'm not sure yet. I'm still waiting for the coroner to release that information.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I'm so sorry. That's so recent.
Yeah.
Man. How old is your baby girl?
She's 3.
3.
Yeah.
Did she know Dad? Or was there a lot of separation?
Both. She knew him, but, there was kind of a lot of separation, but she knows, if she sees pictures and stuff, she knows that's her dad.
Yeah. Man. So, what does grief look like for you these days?
A lot of not wanting to do much.
Yeah.
And a lot of kind of circular thinking and not being motivated to do things. So.
Are you working right now?
Yeah.
Where do you work?
I am an urban farmer.
No way. For real?
Yeah.
You like sell like vegetables and stuff?
Yeah.
What else do you sell?
That's it, just produce.
Produce. Awesome.
Yeah.
And you do that year round?
No, we don't do it year round, just mostly during the summer. In the off seasons, we kind of just are getting ready for the harvest season, pretty much.
Okay. So here's the hard part is as a single mom, you got to pay your bills.
Right.
You got to work. You got to make sure your insurance is paid up. You got to make sure the lights stay on. You got to make sure that baby girl's got food.
Yeah.
And you have to honor your body in this season when it just wants to be quiet for a while. And so it's a both and. What you're going to have to do, I would say the most important thing, and I'll give you a list of a couple of things that I think would be really good just to have check-offs on a note card every day. I'll give you those things, but you're going to have to switch your anger and frustration and disgust that you have with Marjorie and change that to curiosity. Okay? Because you get really mad at Marjorie when she don't want to get up and go work out or she don't want to get up and go do whatever. Fair?
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to let her off the hook for a minute, man. The love of her life died. The love of her life died. And when you're in love with somebody who really struggles with addiction, you know this day is coming, and you constantly ask yourself what you should have done and what you could have done. And so the shame cycle gets worse and worse, right?
Right.
You got to let Marjorie off the hook, man. Marjorie did everything she could. Marjorie loved that man to the moon and back, even when she couldn't even be in the same house with him because he wasn't safe.
Right.
And so when Marjorie's body says, hey, we're laying right here today, if you got to go to work, you got to go to work. But I want you to honor yourself, okay?
Okay.
Now, here's a path out, not for suddenly feeling a million times better. Anybody who's selling you that is selling you snake oil, okay? Don't do that. But here's the path out. The path out is having a note card that you fill out the night before the next day. And on that note card, it's going to say a couple of simple things. One of them is movement. You got to move. That can be taking your baby girl on a walk. That in a stroller. That can be taking her to a park. But you got to move. And the second one is you got to get sunshine. You live in San Francisco, that shouldn't be too difficult. And you're going to, but it's going to mean just for a few minutes, you got to get up and get outside. Okay?
Right.
This is those moments when I don't care what you feel. I want you to just practice the discipline of, I am going to move today. I am going to go outside and get some sunlight and have a cup of coffee outside. The third thing is you cannot do this season by yourself. Do you have some women in your life that you can reach out to, that you can talk to?
Yeah, I have a few.
I would love it if you had a once a week morning breakfast or a morning coffee. One of your friends came over to your house or you went to theirs and brought knucklehead 3-year-old with you. And what will slowly happen over days and weeks and months is the light comes back on a little bit. You're always going to love that guy. And you're always going to be heartbroken. How are you notified that he passed?
Someone that he was living with told me.
Okay. Whew. Can I tell you one more thing?
Yeah.
Often when we lose somebody that we love, especially somebody who is hurting, or somebody who got in a car wreck, or somebody who was struggling with addiction, our brain locks in on the hurt and pain they were feeling as though at the time of the wreck, at the time of the assault, at the time of addiction, using. And I want you to hear me say now that Adam's at peace. He's not hurting anymore. And for somebody who loved him for as long as you did, that was the dream, right? Is that he would stop hurting. You want him to stop hurting and be with you, yes.
Correct.
But it's easy to remember how much he was hurting and to get locked in there. Bro's at peace now. Adam's at peace. And hopefully over the next few weeks, next few months, you can. Have you written him a letter yet?
No.
All right. That's your last assignment. We're going to get a note card. It's going to say move. It's going to say outside. It's going to say contact a friend. It's going to say eat. Okay. You got to make sure you're eating. Are you skipping meals?
Eating more meals than I should.
Okay. We're going to be a good steward of Marjorie. Okay. And by the way, if you gain a few pounds over the next few months, it's all good with me. Okay. I want you to write 3 letters. Okay. Here's letter number 1. Letter number 1 is how much you miss Adam. Dear Adam, I miss you. Tell him what you miss. And be specific. I miss your laugh. I miss when you were sober and clear-eyed, how much you loved me. I miss how funny you were, all that. Letter number 2 is, Dear Adam, I'm so angry I can't breathe. And let him have it. Write down on paper how much you tried, how you went to the ends of the earth, how he cheated on you, how he did this, how he did this, how he did this. Write all that down. The third note, the third letter is, Dear Adam, here's who I'm going to become. I want you to tell him what kind of mom you're going to be to his baby girl. I want you to tell him what kind of mom and woman you're going to be, what kind of business owner you're going to be. Start to write down the plans. Okay? Don't do these all on the same day. Maybe take a break between them. And if it gets really tough, get a counselor. Okay?
Okay.
But I want to get some of these spinning thoughts, like you mentioned, the loops. I want to get them out of my head and out of my body and onto some paper so I can look at them. Okay?
Okay.
If you're a real gangster, a real San Fran gangster, when one of your friends comes over for coffee, I want you to say, hey, I wrote a letter to Adam. Can I read it for you? And I want you to read it in front of somebody else. If you're just a regular gangster, then you can read it in front of a counselor. But saying these things out loud is really, really important. Getting them out of your body is super important, but also reading them. So make a note card every night. There's a practice to this. There's a commitment to this. Writing it down. And don't just put it in your phone on your notes app. Write it down on a note card the night before. Wake up that day and just commit to doing those 4 or 5 things. And then give your body peace. Give your body peace. There will come a time in the next few months when maybe you don't want to be an urban farmer anymore. Maybe you want to move. Maybe you want to do some other things. Awesome. Let those things come, and that's why you'll have a group of women that you can bounce some of these ideas off of, you can dream with, you can think big with, get some encouragement or some insights or some wisdom from. But man, you're still flat in the thick of it, man. I'm so sorry that you lost the love of your life. We'll be grieving with you, Marjorie. Thank you so much for the call. Thanks for being brave. That little baby's lucky to have you.